What's up, fellas?
What up?
Back. Welcome back.
Hey.
Welcome back.
You let Al talk about something for 5 seconds before we come on the podcast, and look at his ass.
Bro,
He don't even want to talk, dude. He's so mad.
What's wrong with him, bro?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna let you tell everybody what happened, but I'm gonna tell you right now. You measured that like you measured your height and weight in the Navy. I guarantee it.
I can tell this is going to spark some rancor here. Let's do it.
Saltiness happening right now.
Bro, I really, right before we came on, I went and looked at it. I was like, mother, bro, I'm just really hung up. So we're moving my daughter into the room I'm currently in. So this is my office. But there's no door. Like, it's right by the front door. So every time somebody rings the doorbell, comes in, my dog acts stupid. It really ruins my day. I want to start killing animals and all that good stuff. My wife gets mad at me. It's crazy. I'm cussing and screaming. So I'm like, we'll buy a barn door. Where you can't just buy any barn door because my doors are like, my openings and doors are all like 8 feet plus tall. So I had to order a custom one, but it comes in pieces. So then I had to build this sumbitch, put it all together. So, and it's crazy. Like, it all hooks together and you got to build it. And like nothing went together just right. It's got little gaps, but it's all together, like just how it's supposed to be. So we do that. Alex walks in the door. I'm like, hey, help me move this massive door off the table. What I forgot to tell, I didn't give him all the details or all the instructions, right? I only told him to help me move this. What he didn't realize is nothing was screwed in. And there's a bunch of slats that you slide into these grooves and put everything together. Well, when I grabbed mine, I knew that. So I was holding the ends together tight. He didn't know it. So he pulls his, opens it up, all my slats go everywhere. So I start from, it's like when you were a kid and you built like stuff out of like popsicle sticks or a deck of cards and somebody's like, boom, and it's so that's happened. So I started over, did all of that, right? Got the barn door put back together. We put the screws in. It still not perfectly lined up like I would like it. So we're like, cool. So we go through the whole measurement thing. Take your door height, buy this door, buy this height, add 13.8, add this. So we hang it, and I've got a 4-inch gap from the floor to the thing. Well, I could just easily, probably not easily, because it's going to be a pain in the butt, because we don't have any more anchors for these bolts. I'm going to have to order anchors. I'm going to have to move the bar down, drywall it, putty the freaking holes, repaint it, or I'm going to go my route, the real white trash route. I'm going to go to Lowe's. I'm going to try to get a piece of wood to fit the bottom, and I'm going to screw it in and see if that works first. And then I've got to take it all down and restand it, because I accidentally ordered the one that's unfinished. So, yeah, that's where we're at.
So real quick, though, I'm going back to the whole story. If you're telling this whole story, and I can see it playing out because I know what would happen with me. So I'm listening to you say, I'm building this table. You took all this time to do it. You're like, Alex, I need you to come help me. But you didn't tell Alex everything you needed to know. As soon as Alex picked that bitch up and it came apart, I guarantee you, Alex was called a whole bunch of words. And Alex was probably going, what I did wrong? All I did was I did what you told me to do.
Super calm and just stood there, and I was like, you stupid mother, blah, blah, blah. I'm going off. Finally, I did apologize. Like, hey, I'm really sorry. It was not your fault. It's my fault. No big deal. Let's just put it back together and get this thing hung. So now, but I could move this thing, but what I didn't tell you, Matt, was the bolts on the ones that go through this side of my office goes to the exterior of my house. So I'm not drilling through just drywall. I've got to go through the brick that's on the other side of where my siding's at.
All right, bro. Listen, what door did you buy that made you have to connect that thing outside?
You don't. But when I drill through this wall, like these lag bolts are this long. Like,
I think we're gonna have a live watching you when you fix it.
No,
we're we'll have a live event on the channel of you fixing.
Bought shorter lag bolts.
It's not.
It's what came with this door. First of all,
but that doesn't mean that's what you have to use.
Second, I use what
look. Bottom line, you should have called Matt. Matt, you should have flew to Florida and helped to do it the right way, because you know all that constructive stuff.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Senior Chief.
Yeah. So real quick though.
So before,
does April know that the bolts went through the house to the outside?
Yeah.
And she thinks it looks good. She's cool with it.
No,
he said kind of. She don't know that's good, dude.
That looks stupid. So let me back up. Earlier this week, I told Matt this. So it's been a rough week. I decided I'm going to trim my hedges, and I'm going to do this, and it won't take me but like 30 minutes. No big deal. So I go outside. I start trimming hedges. You know, I'm not a lawn guy. Clearly not a construction guy. I'm really just a loudmouth guy. So that's what I do. That's what I'm good at, talking. So I trim my bushes up. They look awful. What I didn't realize was where they were overgrown. There's a spot in between my bushes, right in the front of my house, where there was no bush. I didn't know that. It was two bushes that had grown together. So as I'm trimming, all of a sudden I got a 24, 48 inch gap, like a big old gap where there's no bush. So my fix was I got this statue of this Navy guy in a bird bath. I just filled the hole with it. So now she's not
When
happy.
he told me this earlier, I'm driving and I damn near swerved that fucking U-Haul right off the road.
So she's not happy about my landscaping, and like, everything else looks good except that's why I hire people, Scott. This is why I get warranties on my vehicles. I'm the guy who's like, would you like to buy the extended warranty? I'm like, yes, I would. Add that to it too. So I got America Home Shield because I can't fix light switches. Like, this is not what I do.
Okay, but
Yes.
So I want to go back though. Let's
No,
go back.
no, let's don't go.
You went from bolts to fucking up everything outside to not even going. You just brushed over. Does April know the bolts are outside? You're like, yeah. Well, kind of.
So I just text you guys in the group chat the picture of my bushes, just so
Oh
you
my
guys could have a good giggle too.
That is
So-
funny, dude.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and crowd in attendance, how you doing? I'm DJ Real T. You guys have tuned in to our foolishness that we always do. It's normal for us, maybe not for you guys. But I want to welcome you in. This is the Triple Threat Vet Podcast. I'm your man, DJ Real T. In the building, you have my man, our hero, Matt Johnson, and my man, Ty Cobb. We want to say welcome back to another week. If this is your first week, if this is your first one, you're getting your cherry pop, welcome to you too. But if you are family, then hey, you already know what it is. We're in here live, and it is what we do. And if you know anybody, I want you guys to like, follow, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff, because that's what keeps us going. But we're here, and you're here, so we're going to get right into it. Let me bring my fellas back in. I just wanted to do that. Welcome
So
you
real
guys.
quick, David Wallace is in the building.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, David, yes, shirts came in. However, with everything going on, I got to get Ty and Scott his. They're here. I have them. And Al, yours was coming to the house. So you should have maybe.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be, just put it in there with my whiskey that I'm still waiting for. That I'll
You
get
know, I
next
didn't
week.
mail that shirt. What are you talking about? David mailed you a shirt.
Well, just for the record, you got mine. I gave you some. I do. Just for the record.
Yeah, I appreciate that, David.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Hey, man. So last week,
Look at that. Julie said it. Julie called it.
What'd she
Julie
say?
called it.
What'd she
Not
say?
only did you drill through your house, but you drilled through the internet connection.
Oh yeah, because you're back. Yeah, your internet is about the same. It's we're
Which
going
is
to get it there.
stupid. I'm on my phone, just so y'all know. I'm on the phone this time.
Yeah, put
No
do not
kidding.
disturb on so that your hotspot don't get.
You live in the hick part of Florida. No worries, bro. You fit. And that's very personal. That's a very personal comment right there.
It's a very true statement, so I'm good with that.
That's what I love about Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got all the culture you want in the entire United States right there in Jacksonville.
Well, all our Houstonians that are in attendance, I hope you guys are doing well. As I ride around Houston and I ride around surrounding areas, I see major damage from the not tornado, but what was it called? Wind?
It was called Brain.
No, it was wind.
And 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, 130 miles, however it was. But man, so I was downtown last podcast, and it was happening while we were on the podcast. So I get home and like 88,000 Houstonians, 800,000, however many it was, we had no power. So I get my little generator out, right? Because I've been planning for it. Because the power seems to go out pretty often here. So I got my generator out, and we did all the pre-stuff last year. So it was hooked to my circuit breaker, and everything's supposed to be good. Yeah, for day one. Day one, generator worked fine. Day two in the morning, right before I went to get some propane that I had to stand in that line for 3 hours to get, I come home, and the circuit breaker on the generator, the circuit thing is popped. So I'm like, damn. So when that pops, the generator's running, but there's no power going to the house. So did some research, find out what it was. Okay, boom, flip the switch, and it comes back on. 7 minutes later, it goes back off. So I go back outside, I flip it again. It's running, power's on. 7 minutes later, it's back off. So I went through that rigmarole. So finally, me and the wife got tired of it after we're at day 2, almost 3 now. And we say, you know what? Let's not hook it to the circuit breaker. Let's just go old fashioned with it since the generator's working. Let's just hook up all the wires, hook up all the extension cords. So we got like 12 extension cords going through all the house. One for upstairs, one for here, one for there, one for there, one for there, one for there. Right? Everything is running. I put the last one in and I'm like, all right, babe, try to see if this is going to work. And guess what? I look outside and my swimming pool filter is running. You know what that means? The power is on. Yeah. So yes, hooray, the power is on. But it wasn't until we did all of this stuff.
That power was on while you were trying to figure out why it kept tripping.
You talk about wanting to kick something, but I was happy, but I didn't. So the power came on in just enough time because I was going to have to cancel going to BJ's graduation because I couldn't leave my family there, with the power off and just in that situation. Yeah. But it came on, thank God, hallelujah. And day by day, power has come on throughout our area. But the cool thing is this, man. I met some super cool people while I was waiting in line to get propane. I met like 3 super cool people, man. I'm probably going to be lifetime friends now, man. Big shout out to my man, Kevin, man. My man, Kevin, met him in the line. He's a super cool dude, man. And we had a good time. We talked about military. He told me he was going to go, but right before he decided to go, he changed his mind last minute. So I told him as a recruiter, I know that was pretty bad. So we exchanged some stories about not going to the military and me being in the military and had some good laughs and became good friends. So there you go. So for anybody who was affected by the storm, I want to tell you, I hope that your power is back on. Hope that your families are well. My thoughts and prayers are to those who lost their lives in the storm, because as far as I know, there are like 9 people, I think, lost their lives to the storm. It's pretty bad. So our thoughts and prayers are with everyone who was infected, or if I said infected like it was a disease, affected by the storm, and we're with you. So just want to get that out. So here we go. I'm done.
By the way, happy graduation to BJ. Good job. BJ did it. Walked across stage. They even gave him a diploma, y'all.
They gave him a diploma, man. It's official. I had to look at it. I was going to see, did they put on his diploma BJ Blake, or did they put his real name, Scott Leroy Blake Jr.? So he is in there because he is a junior whopper. I'm the big whopper. He's a junior whopper. But at Texas, I'm what's called I'm a big Whataburger. He's a junior Whataburger. You know how it is.
Well, pretty awesome news, so man. We're talking about storms, things happening, people needing help. There was tons of first responders out there helping in Houston all throughout the past few days, the past week, getting things done. And I think that's a good segue.
Yeah.
To bring in our guests this week.
Absolutely.
We've got a couple of guys on here that are passionate about first responders. Why? Because they are one. They're doing God's work in their community every day. Yeah. So it's fitting, Scott, that we're talking about everybody needing help. And these are 2 guys, they go out and help everybody all the time.
Yeah.
The cool part about it is they've just started a nonprofit that's going to help veterans, first responders. And it's just another avenue in the Houston area where people can find a way to get away and work on them and be around like-minded people and do things. And I'm excited to hear about the venture because this is one that's pretty new. We get to hear about it from this is where we're at. And then we get to see that rocket propel into the sky and see how far they're going to go with it. So
my man, before I forget, shout out to Center Point Energy. I just want to say that them guys, man, was working hard. I'm not even going to lie. Like I seen them out there. You guys was working hard, and you guys was doing
your bill and everything.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so I made a post about it this week. Those linemen out there, or whatever whatever the occupation called, I looked up linemen, electrical linemen. That shit would scare the hell out of me. Like, there's no way. Like I saw people like with these millions of volts or amps or whatever. Man, that stuff scares me. But anyway, definitely thank you. My power was out like 3 hours before the show last Thursday, and then it came on Saturday. So we weren't without power very long. But I don't know if all the power has been restored yet. I didn't look today because
there's still some out there.
Yeah, I was driving up in Waco, and there was a terrible storm up in Waco today, man. It scared the hell out of me, like hail and everything. So I don't like all that electrical stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
All right, let's get them on here.
Bring them in.
Bring them.
All right, we got Wes Drake and Jason Corthell.
Bring them out.
Hello, gentlemen.
Howdy.
What's going on, gentlemen?
How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
Sure.
So we like to, well, first we want to say thank you for everything you guys do for our community, right? Being first responders and being the first on the scene to see a lot of different things, you guys make a difference in a lot of people's lives. And, first, before anything else, I want to recognize you guys for that and tell you thank you for everything that you do. It's very important. And a lot of people take for granted the help that you guys bring to them sometimes.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys. And thank you all for your service as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Bro, you got the coolest mustache I've ever seen on the podcast. I'm telling you right now. I wasn't even going to let 10 seconds go by. As soon as you got big on the screen, bam, that's what it is. Hey, fellas, if you're watching and you're thinking about growing a mustache and you're going to halfway do it, that's not halfway doing it. That's how you get it in. That's how you do it.
That one's almost as good as like pretending that you naturally grow a black ring around your mouth and have a gray beard.
Like Tombstone.
Oh, hey, Al, what's up? How you doing?
You know what? I've already told you. You eat a lot of ass. This is what it looks like. So it's just shit, okay? Oh, well,
I
damn.
mean, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Your sister knows what's up.
Maybe she might. He might order some money though. I heard it was a ripoff. But anyway. So Jason and Wes, welcome to the show. We appreciate you guys coming on. What we like to do to start off, if you guys would like to take turns, we'd like to know just a little bit about you, where you grew up, what kind of things you did coming up through, what drew you to the profession you're in now, and kind of take us through a little bit of history of yourselves.
Yeah, I'll let Wes take this one first.
Yeah, so man, I just want to clear something up real quick. I am not a first responder. We have paired with Guardian Grounds on the first responder side. I'm a retired Army.
Okay.
But there's a good teammate of mine, and we do a lot of support efforts for veterans and first responders. So I just wanted to clear that up. I didn't want to act like something I wasn't there.
Gotcha.
So,
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ty, good to see you, brother, and thanks for letting me jump on here. And it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my name is Wes Drake. I live in Hockley now. I grew up in Cyprus, joined the Army in 99, retired in 2019. I was a communicator majority of that time. Spent about 12 years of that in special operations components. After I retired, my neighbor went to a lot of these veterans retreats and things like that. And I started inquiring about what he was doing and what they were doing for him and how everybody was accepting what was taking place. And what we quickly figured out is that there was a lot of parameters wrapped around most of the organizations that he was attending. You had to be post 9/11, you had to be combat wounded, you had to be a combat veteran, faith-based. There was these stipulations that you had to do to fit within a box in order to attend. And with mental wellness and things the way that they are today, the 22 a day, which we know is more than that, that was all a concern to me. And what I wanted to figure out is how do we take all that stuff away? And if you have a DD-214 and you're a veteran, then you can come attend whether it's seminars or retreats. So we run retreats and wellness, and I'll get more into it after the introduction, of course. But really what it's all about is providing retreats and wellness for veterans and their families. They can sponsor friends, confidants, etc. And then not to steal any of Jason's thunder, but a couple of Jason and I met about 3 years ago when I kicked off Camp Comrade. And Jason was doing a lot of mental wellness and mental health stuff in the fire departments. He was working with different counseling agencies, etc. So I was picking Jason's brain. And what I was planning on doing is expanding Camp Comrade to first responders as well. So I had approached Jason and asked him to be a liaison for us at Camp Comrade to be able to perform that and be able to successfully bring in first responders as well. And a couple, we kicked off for about 1.5 years, and then my wife got cancer, so we fought that last year. We beat it. We just got another PET scan a couple days ago, so praise God on that one. But Jason came up to me recently and said, "Hey man, I want to meet up with you. I've got some ideas. I'm going to kick off a nonprofit as well. There's a lot of similarities, but there's some differences, and I just want you to be aware of what's taking place." And so we went and met, and what we quickly figured out is that we solved each other's problems. So Guardian Grounds was already doing what we wanted to do for first responders. We were already doing what Guardian Grounds wanted to do at Camp Comrade for first responders. So we decided right there over a table of food that, hey man, we're just going to team up and we're going to do this together. So that's what we did. And we teamed up. We shook hands that day. We memorialized that with a teaming agreement the day later. And we've been on efforts of fundraising and getting out and helping the community. We've had a lot of help from the community. I won't steal any of Jason's thunder, but we'll talk about all that here. So great responses. Just like you guys, I appreciate you guys hosting us and having us on, helping us spread the word to first responders and veterans like yourself. So I'm glad that you guys even get to hear this. These services are available to you as well. So I'll pause there, let Jason intro, and then we'll get into some of the details as we go along. So thanks, gents. Thank y'all for having me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I started the fire service in 2004, fresh out of high school. I'm a fourth generation firefighter. So it started with my great grandpa, my grandpa, and my dad, who is still part of fire department up in Oregon. Oregon's where I'm originally from. I got to Texas as quickly as I could, and I stayed here. I set up camp here. So married me a Texas girl too. So it's been amazing. She's been amazing. She's been a driving force behind what our efforts have been with the ranch itself. The idea of how this whole thing kind of got started was I get to speak all over the nation about mental wellness and what that looks like from a perspective of somebody who's been diagnosed with PTS and been through the ringer of an employer knowing and letting you down and having to fight out of two situations, your PTS and a poor mental wellness program. So in doing so, the organization that I'm with now, Cypress Creek Fire Department, shout out to them. They've supported me from the start. They're like, we're gonna let you do a program. We're gonna let you take the reins. And so myself and Dr. Liz Fletcher from U of H built this entire program, and we've just been extremely blessed to travel the country and talk about first responder and veteran mental wellness. A lot of conferences, a lot of presentations, a lot of people coming up to you afterwards saying, man, thank you for saying what you said, because I've felt that way for X amount of time. And one night we were driving and my wife's like, I think that there's more. I think there's more we can do. And I knew exactly what she meant. And I was scared as hell to say it out loud. And I know that it was eventually getting a facility in Southeast Texas that we can all go to and still keep the brotherhood alive in relationship and through nature and doing the things that most veterans and first responders love to do. And that's being part of a team and attacking issues like that. And so we started Guardian Grounds Ranch. I got with Wes, and Wes is like, man, come alongside us, take care of the first responders. We'll take care of the veterans, and let's double team this thing, which I'm finding out is extremely rare for 501c3s, right? Because everyone's fighting for their piece of the pie and nobody really wants to share fundraising efforts. Well, Wes and I were like, we're going to do that. We're going to share the fundraising efforts. And Wes has told me, he's like, man, once you guys catch up to us, he's like, then we can talk about sharing. I want you guys to launch, and I want you guys to get some momentum going, which has been absolutely amazing. So that's a little bit of our story and on the introduction side of things.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's good to hear, because a lot of times you hear what you guys just said, like nonprofits and people that help veterans and first responders, and they're there to make everything better for you, and they want you to come out of the best. Like, Wes, you had it right. Like, oh, you didn't do this? We can't help you. You didn't do that? We can't help you. Oh, you want me to show you what we do? No, we can't do that, because then you know how we do it. When at the end of the day, there's a few people on here watching that we've had these conversations before, is like, why can't everybody just work together? One of the guys on here, James Thornton, is like, if I know a guy, I'm going to send him to you. Right. And if you know a guy, then he can send him to him. And if we build that network, then we're able to help everybody. Right. That's right. And so it's just about getting out there and actually helping people to help. Right. And so I like to hear that you guys are doing that, because it is rare to see people that are doing the same thing, helping each other in the way that you guys are. So that's exciting to see that.
Yeah, for sure. I think the main premise of it is, and we met with the district director for Morgan Luttrell the other night, and we got to sit down with her and kind of pick her brain, and she was completely blown away at the fact that first responders were committing suicide. She's like, it makes sense, but I've just never thought of it. And so that's been really eye-opening to a lot of people. And this is going to be kind of my climax of the podcast right here when I say this, because it's kind of like microdosing and macrodosing, right? PTS. Like, do you want to be in the military and go deploy for a year, 8 months, a year and a half, and get a macro dose of shit that you have to deal with for the rest of your life? Or do you want to be a first responder and you want to get microdosed for 20 years and go to work every 2 days and deal with shit and then come home and have to turn it off and on, off and on? Both are terrible, right? Like both deserve their own lanes, but at the same time, they're all going the same direction. And so that's how I try to kind of compare it, is like, do you want to go deploy and get it all in one, or do you want to do 30 years of every other day having to deal with, this crap? And so I'm just trying to bring up the first responders right along with the veterans so we can tackle this thing together, because there's so many similarities. And a lot of first responders are veterans, right? So,
yep.
Well, we've heard so many times that, veterans may get, Matt and I have talked about it, veterans may get hurt in many different ways, like, bombs and guns and things like that. But the things that y'all have to go through every day, Matt and I have talked about it. You have a civil duty. You're doing this it's a civil duty, and you're doing it inside our borders, protecting our borders. I don't know that I could handle doing it, like you said, with that rotation. At least in the military, I knew what I was going. I knew how long I was going to be there, and I knew what my mission was probably going to be. Bad guys. I didn't have to come across, God forbid, a dead baby or, domestic abuse, or, well, I don't know what other kind of crazy things you see, but yeah, Matt and I have talked about it. It's terrible what you guys go through and have to see, and it becomes normal in y'all's lives. And so I love, Jason, that you talk that, I love my conversations with Wes when we were talking about this before. I love when you talked about you're bringing mental health. I mean, I deployed 7 times, and I made it very clear that if you deploy with me, you may want to go see, the doc, just okay, because I was very intense when I was in. Sure. But I think the stigma with my leadership at Fort Campbell, we got the good end of the stick there. Like we didn't go through a lot of that bad stuff. Everybody saw what they needed, and we did okay. But what y'all did, I couldn't bear seeing some of that stuff. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. So for you guys, so let's talk about, Wes, for your end, being a military guy, and Jason, I'd be interested to get your perspective on it as well. From the military, the other guys on here that we run this, me, Scott, Al, Ty, we all know kind of what it's like to transition, right? You come out of the military, you don't have that same support structure you had when you were in. You don't have the same purpose. It's not the same thing. It's all different. It's night and day when you get out, right? So, Wes, I'm sure you get a lot of guys that run into that situation, but Jason, what is the similarity that you see to your community coming out of what they're doing, right? Because if you do 30 years as a firefighter, sometimes you're going to have to go find another job, right? Yeah. Sometimes, maybe. What do you see as the big thing there? Is it similar to that? Like, are they struggling to find jobs when they get out? Is it hard for them to, connect out there? Like, what's the struggles that you see?
Yeah, I think when you spend, 30 years, 20 years even, seeing the worst of people, it's hard to take for granted that they have your best interest in mind for anybody. So trust is obviously something that's lacking in society, in people in general. It's very hard to trust people because we've seen, the worst of the worst. And and before I go any further, I just want to say, I'm not trying to say that one is worse or one is better than the other when it comes to, I'm a veteran myself. I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. I love veterans. I love my Marine Corps brothers, but also on the first responder side, I just feel like that there's differences and similarities. So I try to bring light to all of that before I go any further. I just wanted to say that. When you are a firefighter, you are a police officer, and even in the military and you're a troop, those are professions that kids dream about, right? Like those are professions, they dress up for Halloween as us, they do all these things. So you automatically have this pressure on you that you need to be this superhero. And I say this, we do a lot of reacting, even in the military. This can apply to the military. We do a lot of reacting. We're some of the best reactors in the world, right? Like if you want a typical firefighter, we're sitting on the recliner at 6:30 at night. We just ate dinner. We're watching the news, and someone has an emergency, and they call us, and we react to that emergency. And throughout the whole fire academy and training exercises, we're trained to react and react and react, and then fix it, right? So then for 20 or 30 years, that's ingrained in you. And then you get out and you start dealing with some of the stuff that you saw when you were in. That's the first issue. And there's no one there to talk to anymore. And, you're not there at the breakfast table every morning with the guys and girls talking about, whatever sports team lost. You're not there anymore. And you start losing your identity, because when people ask you, what do you do? You're a firefighter. And they're completely enamored, and they ask you a million questions about your job, and no offense to anybody, but when a postal worker walks up and they're like, I'm a postal worker, I don't have a whole lot of questions for them, right? Like, it's pretty basic, right? Like, and I'm not trying to talk shit about anybody, any postal workers out there. I love y'all for what you do. But that's where I'm going with it, man, is, we get taught to react, and we don't get taught to be resilient to things and to be proactive. And so when we're talking about mental health and we're talking about getting in front of things, the fire service, police officers, all first responder realm is completely behind the curve on it, because we've been taught to be reactive to everything, and it's seeped into our mental health. And when you get behind it, things just fester, and before you know it, I'm not going to call any specific organizations out, but there's probably 5 or 6 neighboring organizations around us right now that have zero mental wellness resources and zero help. And they are very quick to call someone else who does. And my question is, why haven't y'all set something up yet? Like, why is it taking this long? So that's kind of, when people get out and they're lacking the brotherhood and the sisterhood and all that stuff, it's important for organizations to have those guys and gals back for breakfast, have those get set up, reunions, hey, if you retired in the last 5 years, we're going to have a picnic for you guys. Any 10-year retirees come back, we're going to award you a pin. Those things mean a lot to those folks, right? And so that's just kind of where we're at. We're kind of in the same boat, same boat as the veterans.
I never thought about the reactionary part of it, though. That's one part that you just said that you guys are trained to do, and it makes so much sense now that you said it. Alarm rings, got to go. This happens, got to go. This is there, got to go. Everything is a reaction for you guys. Whereas in the military, most of it is this is what we're going to go do. You try and stop us. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't? Great. We'll see you never. And so right. It was very eye-opening just now for you to bring it into that direction, because I never really thought about the reactionary side of it, right? Which makes a lot of sense when you say, if you're trying to get out and go get a job, they look at some person and they're like, man, they don't give a shit about me. Mm-hmm. I've seen guys like him for 30 years. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, and the other part of that is the immediate fix, right? Like, eventually the fire goes out, whether we burn it down to the ground and it goes out on its own, or we put it out with water. Eventually the fire goes out, right? Or eventually the scene stabilizes for whatever reason. And with mental health, it's not like that. Like, it doesn't go away from somebody who's dealt with it. You just get the tools to be able to suppress it properly, right? Like, that's the end goal, is to have the right tools in place to help you get along life. And there's no really quick fix for it. And as firefighters and first responders, we're looking for the quick fix. You show up, you want customer service, you want us to help you and save you, but we can't do that for ourselves.
Right. Well, that's everybody in the profession of military first responder, sure. Right? It's always service over self. It happens all the time, and it's just part of that thing, right? And when you're around a group of people, Al, I think you've said this the best before, is like, a lot of times you'll go downrange or you'll deploy, and when you're there, yes, I'm there for the red, white, and blue. But Al has put it really, really into perspective of, like, it was more than that for me. There's a guy on the left and there's a guy on the right, and they've got kids and they got to get home, and that's all I care about right now. Yeah, we're going to do this thing, but I'm going to get them home so they can be by their family too.
Yeah, it's not as patriotic. It's not as patriotic as you see on TV. We're like, we're doing it for God and country.
Yeah,
no, the fuck I'm not. I'm doing it for my battle buddy and my team. That's the only reason I'm here, right? Because somebody said I had to be here, so I'm going to be here. But we all need to get out of here together, right? At the end of the day, it's great to say I did it for my country, and we did. We all joined up to serve and support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, all that good stuff, right? Against all enemies, foreign, domestic, right? All that shit. But the fact of the matter is, when you're in the middle of it, or you're in the midst of that, or you are downrange, or you're deployed wherever, right? Your concern is your battle buddy and your whoever's right there with you, right? Our job is to take care of each other in these moments, so we all get back to where we need to get back to, who we need to get back to. So it's not as and it's funny because and it's, you say firefighter, because I remember just recently I took my daughter to the fire station here. She had to get pictures for school and this project she was doing, and like she was like, oh, this is so cool, like sit in the truck and do it. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I've got a bunch of family in Tampa that are firefighters and police officers. It's a different world, right? You see things that like Ty was, like we talked about like all the time, right? The things that I seen were on foreign soil. Like they were in Iraq, they were in different countries, right? I seen this horrible stuff, or did this horrible stuff, or was a part of these horrible things. I say horrible, but to me they were awesome, and I'd go back and do it again. Shout out to the Hajis the Hajis, one or two I missed. I'll come back and see you. Don't worry. Right? But at the end of the day, it's eye opening when you think about the stuff that you guys are rushing into, right? We, like Ty said, we know what we're running into. I'm running towards the bullets, right? And I'm bringing mine with me. You guys walk into a situation every day, every other day, and you really don't know what you're walking into until you're in that moment, right? And then, there's really no option for you guys to fight or flight. You don't have the ability to say, I can retreat, right? If shit's hitting the fan and we don't have enough rounds, warheads on foreheads, we can back out and try it again. We can regroup and try it again. That's not an option for you guys. There's no like, all right, fellas, get back on the truck. Let's head back to the house. Let's regroup. We'll be back here in a minute. We'll bring some. Yeah, you got to figure it out on the spot. It's right now, right? Yeah. And the amount of stress that has to cause, and the amount of pressure that puts on you every single day, it's got to be tremendous, right? And like Matt said, you don't think about the reactionary piece of first responders. And it EMT, I'm talking all first responders.
Sure. Absolutely.
You never know what you're walking into. And we don't, me and Ty talk all the time. We don't necessarily know what we're walking into, but I know that there's people with me, and we brought enough shit that whatever we're walking into, we have the ability to just lay waste to everything.
Fine.
Yeah, we'll be just fine, right? And but at the end of the day, you guys definitely don't have that we're gonna everything's, and the sad truth is, and I think Dan Levine touched on it. Unfortunately, you guys are doing these great things for this, like Matt said, for our community and for the people around you. And you're not always liked. You're not always welcomed. Like people aren't. It sounds fucking crazy. Like you would think that we would be happy to see first responders and law enforcement, but the culture of the country and the way the world is today, that's not always the case.
It's crazy.
It's not always. You're walking in there to help, and people are giving you shit, and you're there to fix a problem, right? It's absolutely insane, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep,
people
for
are
sure. So
yeah, Dan Levine said he wanted to be connected with y'all. I mean, that's what we're doing is we try to have different things on here and get into different topics that could help veterans, first responders. I mean, that's what All Got Your Six is about, right, Matt?
Yep. Community and country. That's what we do all the time. No matter what, everybody takes an oath to serve something. So if you take an oath to serve your country, you're all doing it for the same reason. And so I was going to ask you, Wes, like I know that coming in to help and help get these guys off the ground, there takes a lot in doing that. And I know that it's nothing more that you'd rather do, because the more people that you guys help, the better it's going to be. But walk us through, Wes, like what is it like to watch these guys do what they're doing and watch them build it? And because you've been there, you had to start from something, you had to figure it out, and then being able to help them come through. What's that like for you guys?
Yeah, I love that. So I'll tell you that, my biggest motivation there was when you first start something like this up, the challenge is you would think that donations would pour in and the support from Americans would just pour in. Well,
guilty.
The challenge is at that point, when you first start up, there's nothing tangible, right? So it's almost not fair to say, hey, why didn't you support, and everybody would say, hey, whenever you get the property, we'll help you. You know, if you ever need somebody to cut the grass or whatever, we'll help you. And then you got people that will you know, share your donation page and say, this is a great organization to give to. But until there's something tangible, you just are not going to catch the traction that you need to. And that's understandable if you sit there and really dissect it. So when Jason came to me, I said, Jason, man, you know, he's like, man, I'm struggling with this and I'm struggling with that. And I said, you know what, let me help with that, because I don't want you to have to go through 8 months of ripping and roaring through this and trying to figure out how to make this work. I can say right now, 100% of our donations goes back to the veteran. And that's the same with Guardian Grounds. And that's something that we're really standing on top of. So we have locations where veterans can go and first responders can go and have a retreat. They can go fishing, they can go hunting. We've got multiple locations, and we also support Airbnbs and VRBOs. So what I wanted to do was enable Jason and Guardian Grounds to have those same opportunities right out of the chute. You know, it's hard to pass the red face test when somebody says, what are you guys doing? And where's it at? And you're like, oh, well, it's nowhere yet. And then they're like, no, I'm not doing that, right? So we kind of skipped those efforts and we propelled them through that. So, you know, Jason's vision end state is to have, you know, somewhere between 50 and 100 acres plus to have a wellness facility to where we can handle inpatient as well. So whether that's substance abuse, PTS, whatever the case may be, TBI clinics, et cetera, and being able to do that. So we wanted to join those efforts. And really what we vision is you drive through a gate and you turn left to Camp Conrad, you turn right to Guardian Grounds. But in the backside of the property, it's all a community and it's all together. And it's the same people looking for the same thing, right? And here's the thing. I want to make this very clear. You do not have to have a mental, you know, challenge or mental illness to where you have to come hang out with us because of that. I want you guys to understand when you just want to get away and go hang out and rub your feet in the sand, sit around the fire and tell lies, do it with us. Come out and do that, right? So this is not you've got to fit within the parameter that you've got some things going on. I would like to mention, though, I think that every single person today, based on reality, how fast things are moving, the immediate reaction to contact that we all do every day, we don't. The only time you know if someone's got a mental issue is if they tell you. I think we all have them at this point, right? Right. And the way I like to tell people, look, you know, I've used services. Jason's used services. You guys have probably used services. We don't go out and look at our car if it doesn't start and stare at it every day in the driveway and go, man, I sure wish this thing would start, because it's not going to, right? So what we're looking at is, fuck the stigma. There is no stigma. The stigma is if you don't go get help, then I have a problem with you, right? Because your car's not going to start, right? So we've learned some things through this journey. I've done multiple types of therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And I will tell you right now, I will stand on any desk across the world and tell you that if you haven't done EMDR, eye movement and desensitization and reprocessing, as a veteran or a first responder, let us help you, because it is not, you are not a financial projection. You are not someone that is going to sit in there for a year. I went to 12 sessions of EMDR. It changed my life, saved my life, and changed my marriage, changed my relationship with my kids, changed my relationship with everybody in my life, changed my relationship with myself. And you know when you're finished, right? So I want to just stomp on that while we're on here. EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Stop trying to go to anything else, in my opinion, at this point. Everything I've tried has been good. EMDR has been fantastic.
So I did it, Wes. I did EMDR when I was an inpatient, and it was they had the little light bar with all the it was crazy. Yeah. And then when I got out and they sent me to pretty much like intensive outpatient for a couple of weeks, the place I was going was like, oh, they had like sticks or something. I was like, this ain't the same thing. Like they weren't the same, but it definitely is it is, you have to be ready for it, because it's definitely
That's right.
It's tough. Like it's definitely it's definitely like it works. It definitely does. Like I said, I've done it, but it definitely was. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Right. the emotions that it draws out of you and all. I mean, everything. I mean, it definitely it's legit for sure. It's like it's almost like hypnosis. Like you're watching these green dots, and all of a sudden it just becomes a line. Like it's crazy. It's definitely a good therapy if there's places that have it you can get to.
That's right, and we're there to help you with that. We've actually teamed with Jason. Can I think I can shout this out, right?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, we've teamed with Shield Bearer Counseling off of Jones Road in Houston or in Cypress. They have been phenomenal, helping us with crisis intervention, helping us with different wellness plans, et cetera, that we're working out. But, I went there thanks to Jason. Jason and I were hanging out talking about teaming up. And I said, Jason, man, I just can't, I can't seem to crack the code on what what will actually help. And he said, call Michelle over at Shield Bearer. And it'd be, it'd change your ways, man. So I did that, and I've gone through 12 sessions, and I'm pretty much done. I went from 3 times a week to once a month. So none of us are exempt, and all of us need that support system. We need that understanding and that reprocessing of our thoughts so that we can move forward and we can continue to help serve the community and each other in a very healthy way. Versus, Matt, I'll go back to what you said earlier with purpose. I actually wrote it down because I wanted to come back to this. I also run a software engineering firm during the days. I'm a chief operating officer for OmniResponse. We serve DoD customers, federal customers, and first responders. That's what we do. We have a remote command and control platform. But my point to that is, as I continue to see these guys, and I've been working in industry for about 5 years now in corporate America, if you will, and I've brought other colleagues, brought other teammates from the military over into the workforce. And something common that I hear is, I don't have a purpose. Well, let's just talk about that real quick. Of course you do. Your purpose for that time frame was that you were a soldier, or you were a cop, or you were a firefighter, etc. That didn't define you. That was just a chapter that was in your book, right? You're also a dad, a brother, an uncle, a sister, a cousin, a whatever. You're something. You have a purpose every day. You're an employee. You're a husband, a wife, a this, a that, whatever. So let's start saying that you do still have a purpose. You have to be on the meeting at 8:00 to do a podcast. That's your purpose today. You have to tell someone, hey, nice haircut, whatever, right? I used to run a campaign that I would always say the why you, and you was yourself, others, and the unit when I was in the military. And what I was trying to do is get people to flip their priorities, because we are selfless, right? So what happens when you become selfless, your self becomes at the bottom of the barrel. I want you to flip that. I want you to be number one every day and do something for yourself every single day. I also want you to do something for someone else. And then your unit, I've changed that to either your inner circle or anything. Like I could say right now, you guys told Jason Romney hopped on, nice beard, boom, you knocked off someone else. You already knocked off someone else, right? So do something for you, right? And I make the joke that when I lay in bed every night, and it's not a joke, this is true, but I make the joke that if I lay in bed at night and I go YOU and I go, damn, I didn't do anything for me or my unit. You can roll out of bed, hit the floor, do one push-up. There you go. You got you. Walk out, take out the trash. Boom, you hit 2 of them. Took you 3 seconds. But you're going to now go to bed feeling a lot better than you laying in bed saying I failed at something today, right? So let's release those means. Let's get that shit out there. And let's stop saying that we don't have a purpose, because we have a fucking purpose. And that's what we're doing right now. We're spreading the word. We're spreading community. We're creating comrades, which is why we came up with Camp Comrade, right? So these folks would tell me, I would say, hey, man, I got 5 job offers lined up for you. Oh, bro, you think I can do that? What do you mean? Yes, you did it in 26 fucking countries with no. Yes, I think you can do it. I give you a budget and I give you a training plan, and yes, of course you can do it. Right? So let's stop saying that completely. We can do exactly what we want to do, and we can do every bit of it. So those 2 things are something that I hope people latch on to. The you, right? Do something for yourself, others, in your organization or your inner circle every single day. And that right there alone will change your mindset. So Matt, I'm sorry, that was very long-winded.
No, you're good. It was great.
What I really want to see from Jason and them, is the partnership has been amazing. Jason's the most he's the most motivated. I call him my boss, right, at this point, because Jason's out running and gunning every day. He'll call me at night and he'll say, hey, man, I got these 5 restaurants. They're on our team. I got the Houston UFL Roughnecks on our team, which, by the way, will be out at the Roughnecks game on the 26th with Camp Conference this Sunday. We're hosting the tailgating. We're going to have DJs. We're going to have some beers. We're going to have some food. And we're going to be there with our smiling faces. So the Houston Roughnecks have been.
Wes, your DJ is gonna suck if it ain't his name ain't DJ Royalty. You got ripped off, bro. You got ripped off. You know what I'm saying? You got the wedding singer if you ain't got DJ Royalty out there. You know what I'm saying? Just
and then Wes goes, "I'm the DJ, bro." What are you trying to do?
My bad. I'm not going to talk shit about Wes because he works for an IT company and he could probably show my wife my browser history and nobody wants that. Okay.
Or he can speed your Wi-Fi up, which we all know you need to get that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So so Matt, what I really want to see, I want to see that wellness facility. I want to see them grow. I want to see them utilize all of our facilities. I want to see all of y'all utilize our facilities. Yeah. It's what my real mission was. Soldiers, a lot of times that their parents will get them a plane ticket home, and they get into this routine of work, and I get to go on leave and I go home. Well, you went all over the world, but you never got to go on vacation, right? So I don't want them to have to go to Google and say, hey, I got a 4-day out of nowhere. Where do I go? I want them to go, hey, Wes, I got a 4-day. Where can I go? And we just put them in a spot, right? And again, they can bring family members. They can, if you have a DD-214, you sponsor your folks. And whoever that is that you want around you. If you want us to chaperone it, we will. Of course, we'll always provide swag and other things. We have seminars that we run that you can attend or not. What I didn't want to do is stack up your schedule where you come out and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm in fucking 6th grade science class and I got to go through all this bullshit to go hang out by the lake.
I got to follow the itinerary to the
That's right. Yeah. Fuck that. We're not going to do that. We're going to say, hey, man, in that building over there, you can go see this, or this. And if you're not interested, beat it, right? Go out, fish, go ride UTVs, go do whatever you want. Again, it was the boundaries and the boxes that I wanted to throw away, right? So I want to see them be successful, and just like tonight, we always say if we help one dude, and we've already done that, right? And I shouldn't say dude, but I call all sexes dudes, so whatever, right? But if just
nowadays that might be nowadays that's kind of true. I mean,
might be true. Yeah.
You never know, bro. I mean, I'm just saying.
I guess it's just being real as shit. Now you can just say, dude, blanket, right? So I just want, that's what I want, man. I don't want there to be a thought process like, hey, I want to go chill out. Hey, call Wes, man. That's what we want, and I want the same for Jason and them. And I want, eventually, I want to see this in 50 states. Right now we've got places in Texas and Kansas, but I'm not done until it's in all 50 states, and we can support everything. So, like I said, what we're doing in the meantime is VRBOs and Airbnbs, but we need support. We need Americans to support us. One of the coolest things I saw in the military was the Center for the Intrepid out of San Antonio. Where all of our guys with amputees and all that go and learn to run again, learn to walk again, all that's an amazing facility if you've never seen it. That is 100% funded by Americans, right? So let's fund this. Let's take care of the people that take care of us. And my problem is I get more funding from veterans and first responders than I do anyone else. And that shit breaks my heart.
Yep, it sure does.
Because you support each other. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah, you could look at it.
I can help you. I can write you a post-dated check. Don't.
Yeah, but that's a WIC check, dude. That's from Florida.
Hold it to the first, bro. Hold it to the first.
But think about it. In the military, when you were in like all those unit prides, right? And you're like, hey, let's raise some money. Everybody in the unit paid for the shit. Why would you say raise money? Just say everybody hand over your $10. We're gonna go get this thing right now. You know what I mean? But what I think is funny is even still, like you said, I think a lot of times part of the challenge in what you guys are doing may also be that let's just face it, there's a lot of people that say they're trying to do what you guys are doing. A lot of people. And then a lot of times you find out more often than not that sometimes those people may or may not have been doing it for the right reason. So it's the whole stigma of the one bad apple ruins the bunch.
Ruins the bunch, right?
Right. And no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, and no matter how many, doors you knock on, it's gonna, like you said, Wes, you said it great. It's gonna take that one time where you can show the fruit of the labor. Like, this is the result of what we do. And then everybody starts running, and so like that's us in business. We're getting better, but we're like, but when do we get like better? And it's like, Scott says it all the time. He goes, it's going to be that one moment and then it hits. And so for you guys, teaming up, I think is the one moment for both of you, because now you both get to work in those arenas you guys have come from, and you're going to be able to bring double the people. So I'm excited. It's going to be good.
Thank you, brother.
I think this would be a good time for us to take a break, pay some bills. But before we do that, I wanted to do a quick thing with everybody that's in here. That's just the stuff I do while you guys are talking and I'm listening. I think of stuff inside of my head. So real quick, all you guys are here, and I'm going to say chat. When I say chat, that means the people who are in the chat. I want you guys real fast to write down 3 people that you love unconditionally. Real fast. Put in the chat, and I'm going to ask around the room. I want it to be real fast. Matt, name me 3 people that you love unconditionally.
Becky, Sierra, and Cole.
How about you, Al?
Ty Cobb, Kenzie, and April.
How about you, Ty?
Sarah, Tatum, and Tylee.
Jason, your turn.
My God, number 1. My wife, number 2. And I got 3 kids, so I got to throw them all in there.
All right. Wes, it's up to you. Your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to cheat off of Jason a little bit, so I'm going to go with the man upstairs, and I'm going to roll into Sarah. Not Ty's same Sarah, but I love her too.
She's great.
Yeah, I've got 5 kiddos, so I'm gonna have to shout out all 5, right? So
I felt like yeah.
Okay.
Now, all right, Scott, 3 people you love. Ready, go.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this because I had to do it because I know I was gonna do the same thing, right? But this is the catcher. Even in the chat and with you guys, nobody names themselves, because that should be the ultimate person that you love unconditionally, right? Because if you don't love yourself unconditionally, you can't. But the thing of it is that it happened to me too, right? Because I did the same thing. So I'm not saying I'm different than anybody else. I'm guilty of it. But we have to start loving ourselves, right? Because if we love ourselves unconditionally, then we can give that love out to somebody else unconditionally. So everybody's pretty much going to feel it, because we always are selfless and we want to help somebody before we help ourselves. But if you have the ability to love yourself to a point where you won't allow anything to happen to yourself because you love yourself that much, that's where the change really happens. So it's just something to think about before we go on break. Everybody was going to say somebody else because I did it. I'm guilty of it. I didn't win this one. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I love myself every time I get to a hotel room and for at least 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Unconditionally.
I knew he was going to.
Unconditionally,
I was trying to get out of here before he did.
Something about that emotion, bro. I'm just throwing it out there.
We're going to take a quick break and pay a couple of bills real fast. This is the Triple Threat Vet Podcast. You're in the building with the Triple Threat Vet crew and my man Jason and my man Wes, and we are having a good time, good conversation. These are some great guys, and I look forward to coming back and chopping it up with them a little bit more. So we'll see you guys in a second. We'll be right back after these messages.
Gear up in style wearing Got Your Six apparel. Every purchase makes a difference. It's more than just clothing, it's a statement of gratitude. Upgrade without breaking the bank. Discover cost-effective, high-quality clothing made in the USA. Each shirt is handcrafted by our team in the great state of Texas and shipped for free to your front door. Got Your Six is where quality meets purpose. We're a small veteran-owned business that takes pride in the mission and the value of our products. Join us in growing a community, supporting our heroes, veterans, and first responders by wearing a custom design.
I thought you'd never ask.
Visit sameflagsameoath.com and use the code TRIPLETHREAT for 10% off. Follow us on all social media platforms for any upcoming releases or events, and you can reach out to us with questions anytime. We are here to support our brothers and sisters.
Hello, MP World. My name is Mac Verdi, and I'm a former military police officer, served the 101st MP Company, a couple tours to Iraq, and I am now the founder of Veteran Mortgage Solutions. Veteran Mortgage Solutions is an all-military veteran loan officer team. We will help you with your VA home loan. We'll help you with refinancing. We'll even help you finding realtors in your area and save you money. Give me a call today. Let one MP help another MP. We are fully transparent, 100% great customer service, and very fair pricing. We do not charge you all these ridiculous fees everybody else charges you. Give us a call today. Reach out to us. We are MP Regiment Gold Star sponsors, and we are proud to serve the MP Corps again. Have a wonderful day.
They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Damn.
Damn right.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful.
Very.
Yeah.
Saw the man, the myth, the legend, good old Mac Verdi on there getting it in.
Yeah, for
Letting
sure.
everybody know what's up.
The big
Yep.
dog himself.
Mac
you
is
got there,
Mac has been giving so many presentations later. That dude's working his ass off.
Some a bit of
Better Mortgage Solutions.
Barracuda.
What do you say?
Got some a bit of Barracuda.
Oh, you got some Barracuda. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Barracuda.
Well, we can't make out what it is. I can't see what the can is. So
Oh my bad. It's got a Barracuda on it.
Somebody,
He almost has like that witness protection filter on for his
Right.
camera today. You know what I mean?
his phone
How
probably
you
went
change
black.
the voice
Hotspot.
changer, bro.
You gotta tap your phone so that your thing doesn't go off, so your hotspot still knows it's being hot.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Because if your phone went out, then your hotspot doesn't know that you're
I
still.
was like, you have to tap it for it to be hot? I don't understand. Hold on. Maybe I've been doing this wrong for a
all
while.
right,
This is the reason, real quick. This is why I'm moving out of this office and into my daughter's. We're swapping rooms.
Okay.
I don't have internet in here, bro. It's a dead spot.
Okay.
I'm dead
Gremlins,
serious. That's why
man.
I'm moving.
I bet it's the ionosphere, some kind of liquid metal, some iron pyrite or some shit.
It's because I'm so
Probably what it
phenomenal.
was.
I fuck up all the waves in the room. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
probably
let's bring Wes and Jason back.
Let's bring them back.
probably it. There you go. My man.
There they go.
There they go.
You're back, fellas. You made it back.
Yeah. So for you guys right now, I mean, Jason, with Guardian Grounds, you guys are in the beginning. You guys are rolling through. Wes, you're helping. So what do you guys see as like the future of where you guys are progressing to go? I know that you said you wanted to get a ranch, you want a building out there, you want those things, but can you guys go through a little bit more about what I guess you'd call it the dream is for it? What do you want it to look like, or what it's gonna look like when you guys are done?
Yeah. So if if we want to hit the home run and we want the home run answer, we want a facility somewhere in Southeast Texas that can house folks for addiction treatment and behavioral health issues for veterans and first responders exclusively. And those facilities are rare. There are a lot of facilities in the state and throughout the country that can handle taking on veterans and first responders, but they're also available to the general public. What I found personally to be an issue with some folks is when you're a veteran or a first responder and you've considered the general public enemy number one sometimes, which I'm not saying is right or wrong, but it happens. You don't want to be housed with them while you're walking through your garbage as well, if that makes sense. Currently right now, there are one or two facilities in the nation that I can think of off the top of my head. And if there's more, you're doing a piss poor job of advertising because I can't find you. And I have to fly people all the way to Maryland right now to get help. And that's frustrating. There's a facility in California, and I know the gentleman that runs it down there, and he's an amazing dude, amazing guy. But when I tell a Texan, first responder or veteran, that we're going to get them treatment in California, it brings up some issues. And a lot of Texans don't want to leave Texas. And so my end goal is to have that facility. And in the meantime, we want to, we have the spot up in Lindale that Wes has talked about. And I told Wes when we first started, I said, I think Guardian Grounds Ranch and Hidden Valley are the only ranches that don't actually have a ranch yet. Right. And he's like, oh, I can fix that, man. And so we went in on the property in Lindale together. And, we want to make camping available. We want to make outdoor excursions available. And we're doing that. Right. We have those things available now. We want people to come out with their RVs and hook up their RVs and stay out there. We want to do concerts out there. We want to do a bunch of stuff to raise money for what we hope to be an eventual facility that can be dual certified for addiction and behavioral health issues for first responders and veterans exclusively, and no one else.
I like it. And then Wes, you guys are on par for the same. I mean, is there anything different you guys are looking for?
The only difference really is, and I've kind of said this in another podcast. Not that I want to see it in phases necessarily, but I think it's easier digested in phases where, if you go to the ranch and you get treatment, whether that's PTS, TBI, substance abuse, it doesn't really matter. Step 2 of that is living again, right? Reconnecting again, get back out in nature, get back with those bubbas, and there's only one part that we're missing right now and we're aware of, and we're working diligently to correct that, is spouses. That's an untapped market. And I don't mean that in a business manner. We owe them just as much as we're doing for the veterans. And what's been cool is what we've learned is every time we've had an event, it's just kind of nature. You split into groups, right? And sometimes, the genders are different, whatever, it's all good, right? Who cares? But what you quickly find out is that there's a lot of spouses that are going through the same challenges, and they may have what you would call secondary PTS, right? Yep. Where, they've had to deal with the lawnmower breaking and the washing machine blowing up. And hell, I went out of town the other day when the storm came through, and my wife was stuck under a bridge and we had no power, and I'm in Lindale at the property, like just helpless as shit, right? And we want that spouse network to be just as good as this veteran network. So that is one thing that we are going to evolve and change. But I'll tell you, it's already been extremely effective, even just allowing people to bring their family members, right? And making this a family thing, whether it's brotherhood, sisterhood, or a family, it doesn't really matter. We're in this together. We're all looking for the same shit. We want the noise to stop. We want the trust. We want the loyalty. That's what we want, right? And it's frustrating when you get around groups that are not like-minded, and you can try for the rest of your life to try to convince those unlike-minded folks to change their views, but you're not going to win. And that's okay, right? So it's, hey, let's just all come together, do our own thing, take care of each other, And that's really the big thing. So, I want it to kind of look like that, where, if you need extensive assistance, then let's do that. But again, like I said earlier, if you just want to come kick it and tell lies around the fire, let's do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question, Matt, for both Jason and Wes. So what is it? And I kind of know the answer a little bit, but I'm going to ask you because I just want to hear you guys' perception on it. So there's certain kind of people, right, that say, you know what, I'm okay. I've been through some stuff. I've been depressed. I've been stressed out, whatever. I got through it. But then there's a different aspect of it, which you guys have touched into, that says, I'm okay. I might not be perfect. I might not be great. But my goal and my thought is that I want to help other people get through whatever it is that they're getting through. Like, where does that come from? Because it's easy to, when you get down into a slump, you go into your thing, and then when you get out of it, you're like, okay, I'm good, and you move on and you press on about your day. But to have the kind of forward to do that for somebody else and have that much passion to dedicate that much time for other people, what is it about you guys that makes that gives you guys that urge to press on and do it? Like, what is it, or why is it that you guys press so hard to help others?
Yeah, I think it's not easy. I'll tell you that much. There's times in the last couple months I've been like, man, what the hell are we even doing? And I go to bed and I'm ready to fold this thing, and then I wake up the next morning and I have 3 emails that just change my complete perspective of the ranch and everything. And I've gotten out of that funk, obviously, as we've continued on down this road. But just the nature of helping people has obviously been something that I've been doing for a long time, since 2004. And I would be remiss if I didn't attribute it to my faith as well. One of the greatest commandments is to love one another. And it hasn't always been easy. I've had my struggles where I didn't love myself. I didn't love anybody. I was what you would all consider a piece of shit. Trust me. And I had to fight out of that, man. And I'm like, look, dude, like, I found a love that's so real with my God and my wife and my kids. I don't want anyone to ever feel anything less than that. And I want to set out on something that will change the world for first responders and veterans, right? Because I know for a fact that they don't have to feel the way that they're feeling, because I've been there. I've walked down that road. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that there's low-hanging fruit that we're picking up right now. And I think a lot of people want to do stuff and they know it, but they don't know how to do stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the time that me and Wes are putting in together, is figuring out the how behind it. How do we get spouses involved? How do we get family involved? How do we get community involved? And it's like we said in the very beginning, coming together, right? We're both 501c3s. We both need money to survive. We both need donations. $5,000 comes in. Would that be great for Guardian Grounds Ranch? Absolutely. But what would even be better is if we went $2,500 to Wes and $2,500 to Guardian Grounds Ranch.
Absolutely.
And we changed lives in 2 different directions, right?
There you go.
That's what we're doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's dope. Wes, what's your intake on that?
Yeah. So a couple of things, right? So, I was in the Army for 20 years, right? So I led soldiers for about 18 years of that 20. And I realized, as I retired, looking for that purpose again that we talked about, right, was my sphere of influence out here is much greater than any sphere of influence that I could have had in the Army, because I can't just affect the generation that's in there now. I can affect every generation that's still living. So that sphere of influence expanding, the stigmas, I think we're doing a great job of, for the most part, doing a great job of eliminating that. But I just wanted to be bold with it. Hey, we've all fell into shit. We've all, and I'll tell you, 2017 was the worst year of my life. I had 16 what you would call life events in about 6 months. And when I hit the ground face first, I failed in one manner, as I've reflected and learned on what took place there, I didn't tell a single person I loved. And that was a mistake. And I want everyone to know that, right? I want everyone in the world to know that, because, whatever reason it was. But I didn't do that. So, what I like to say to everybody all the time is, I look at mental health in a couple of different ways, but one of the things I look at it as is, as of today, every person out there has survived every worst day they've ever had.
Yep.
It's pretty powerful, right? And then I like to correlate that to some Army stuff where, when an IED goes off, that's the shittiest time you've ever had, really, at that point in time, right? So you got smoke, you got blood, you got screaming, you got shit going on. The craziest thing about it is, in about 7 minutes, all that shit is clear. And there's just a big hole in the ground, right? So I like to correlate that back for veterans of, you thought 7 minutes ago this was the worst shit you've ever been in. And now 7 minutes later, it's all cleared up. Well, why can't we do that same thing with mental health?
My man.
So that's really my purpose. And I was getting calls daily from service members. I still do. I get calls daily, and I still try to help. I'm still very connected. I went to a soft week 2 weeks ago in Tampa. That's the Special Operations Conference, and it's like a reunion. We don't sleep for a week because it's I took a bunch of colleagues out to a baseball game while we were there. I had 3 people from my company. I had 2 retired colonels that I served with in 2 different capacities. I had an old First Arm buddy that came and met us out there. And, just sitting there, and my wife was even there, and just sitting there, I'm like, how fucking cool is this, right? Like, we're touching like 20 years of time right now. And we're all chilling at a Tampa Bay Rays game. And you know what? It happened. My buddy next to me was like, hey, man, I need to talk to you. I wasn't trying to bring it up here. And I'm not saying I am not a counselor. But I've been counseling soldiers for 24 years now. But I consider myself a friend or a colleague or a family member. I don't consider myself a counselor. And he says, man, I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm going to, because the stuff that you're telling me is going on is amazing. Well, him and his wife had just gone through an extremely difficult time. And he's now, they're both going to go through EMDR. They're both going to get this help, right? And so it was just such a fascinating evening that I could share that not only with my companion, but so many people that were involved in my life over a 20-year lifespan. And the fact that we're still connected like that proves to me that this shit works, right? So, he was willing to say that to me and, as a sidebar in front of all those people. And if it's that I'm supposed to be the conduit and I'm supposed to be the one that helps you find what you need, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to tell you, when I reached out, here's what really did it for me. And this was during the process. I needed counseling, and I reached out. It took me 14 hours to find a counselor. And Jason is the reason that happened. I mean, I called SOCOM Care Coalition. I called all these places in Houston. And I'm telling my wife, I need it now, right? And I ended up calling 988-1, which is a suicide hotline. I felt like yes, I wasn't going to do that. And I said, hey, man, please, no, I'm not calling you because I'm going to commit suicide. I'm calling you because I need help. And I felt like a shitbag because I didn't know, I couldn't figure it out, right? And I'm like, I don't understand this. And if everyone else is going through the same fucking problem, I have an issue with that because I should be able to find it. So Private Snuffy getting out, damn sure don't know how to get it, right? So I wanted to be that conduit. I was just in the VA hospital tonight with a teammate from 1st Special Forces Group that just had a liver transplant. And him and I were talking about these same things. And he said, I think I need a service dog. I said, I got you. I'll figure that out for you. Don't even worry about it. And he turned around and he said, no, actually, I'll find it out for you. You're too fucking busy, man. I have nothing to do. I'm sitting in the hospital. Let me do about 3 hours of work a day for Kent Comrade. Give me a purpose so that I'm not drinking. And I would love to help with what you guys are doing. Well, fucking A, man, then do it. Here's what I need you to do. Boom, boom, boom. Get to work, motherfucker, right? and that's where we're at, right? That just happened today. I rushed home. I got home 10 minutes before this, right? So that's where we're at, man. That's what we're wanting to do. And we can't do it alone. You know, we need everybody to help with it. One of you know a better way than I know to do these certain things. And as long as we stay together and stay connected, we can solve this, man. And the more senior leaders and the more people that they see admitting and just saying, hey, man, none of us are exempt, then I think we can create a better place.
Yes, so where could, if somebody wanted to get involved or help or be a part of what you guys are growing, is there any way or anything that you can give to them, a pathway to where they can provide help, or what kind of credentials or what kind of help do you need to push forward in your program?
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
All right. So right now, I mean, some of the services that we offer, I'm also certified as a chaplain in 2 different certification realms, peer support. I'm a peer support specialist, resiliency, intervention, crisis, individual and group interventionalists as well. So I have a ton of experience, and I bring a team of people with me that has a ton of experience. As Wes alluded to earlier, we have a professional counseling service that has joined teams with us that is dying to help people. And so they want to come on board and do all that. If there's any other resources out there, people that want to help, I mean, I have people that come up to me, they're like, look, we don't know how to do a lot of the stuff y'all are doing, but we will go help man the booth for y'all at a fundraising event. Like that is huge, you know? Yeah. And that's going to happen on the 1st, because on the 1st, I'm going to be up in Lindale helping Wes with the Lindale property. And we have an event, and I had someone reach out to me and say, hey, I want to staff the tent for the fundraiser. And I'm like, hell yeah, come out, staff the tent. And so those things, man, we will not turn away any help whatsoever. Obviously, veterans and first responders are absolutely preferred, but not necessary. And if they want to help, go to the website. We also have a Facebook page as well. You can find Wes's website on my website, or you can go directly to Camp Comrade, either way. And we work together, man. So if you see me, you're going to see Wes too, for sure.
All right. Well, if you need a DJ, man, I got you. I know you guys already, but you know, or just somebody to sit in and listen to some stories or give. I'm excited, man. I want to get involved. So that's one of the reasons why I was asking, because I really want to be involved in what you guys are doing. And anyway,
absolutely, man, absolutely. Come out Sunday if you can make it. Come out Sunday to the football game, and we're gonna have a badass time out there, man. We just partnered with Strong Arm Brewing out in Webster. They have a beer that they just made for us, which is amazing. It's called Grounds and Pound. Grounds and Pound, and it's a coffee. It's a coffee brown ale, and it's amazing. So those guys are coming out. I don't drink anymore, so I'm a little bummed about that. I am excited that we got this thing launched. So
yeah, I got
y'all got Busch Light, because if y'all got Busch Light, I'll drive from Florida.
We'll bring it in just for you, Bubba. We got
you're cheap, man. A Busch Light for a drive.
Them Busch Lattes, baby. I come to
yeah, but you got to have green olives to put in the bottom of the glass.
Right.
That Bismarck Martini, baby. I spice it up in the trailer hood. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, but I had to take BJ he checks into Austin Pay Sunday, so I'm flying back to Tennessee Saturday to go help him get enrolled in school and bring my boys back. So
good for you. That's awesome.
I missed this one on Sunday, but I'm gonna come to the next one. I'm gonna bring
amazing.
My kids. I think it's important for them also to see that, to see community, to see people coming together to help. I really want my kids to see those kind of things happening. Hopefully, to light a spark underneath them to where they, put part of their life into helping as well, because that's the only way we're going to make it. We have to help each other. We have to be there for each other. That's the only way that this world is going to keep on spinning and moving. So
absolutely,
whatever we can do to be a part of that, man, that's what it's about. That's why we have this podcast, because, with us here and just having you guys on and being able to have conversations and mingle and mix with people who are looking forward and moving forward and trying to be part of the solution and not the problem. That's what we're looking for. You guys are definitely that. So I want to beforehand thank you guys for coming on our podcast, man, and continuing to do what you guys do, man. It's been an honor to have you guys here with us, man, and we really appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And one more shout out to Matt. Matt was the first person that came to us and said, we support what you guys are doing. We want to do a shirt collaboration with y'all.
Yeah.
And those guys over at Got Your Six has just kicked ass for us right off the bat with no expectations from us whatsoever. So amazing job, Albert.
Yeah. Albert's just jealous that he lives in Florida. That's what's going on right now.
Anyways, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Although,
really appreciate
Jason,
it.
on that point, right? I just want everybody that's listening.
Shout out
to
Ron
know-
DeSantis. Shut up, Matt. Shout out Ron DeSantis.
I was just looking at his governor's
Okay.
letter to me the other day from retirement. So, on that note, we do have the co-branded shirt with Guardian Grounds. It's up and it's ready to go. So now that we've done this
Amazing.
podcast, we're just trying to let everybody know right now that shirt is going to be live on the website. 25% of the total purchase of that shirt is going to go to Guardian Grounds to help them fund what they're doing, just like we do for every other nonprofit that we do. So that if you're looking to support somebody, support them in that way. You know, go support us, support them. And that's what we try to work towards all the time with Got Your Six, is a way to give back, right? Wes, you're talking about people still have purpose in the world, right? Don't think you don't have purpose. And so my wife and I really believe that our purpose is to help nonprofits and co-brand with them and get the word out for them and offer people a way to show support for you guys too in the shirts that we create. And so because we've been able to do that, by tomorrow, when you go onto the Got Your Six website and go into the co-branded section, you're going to see the Guardian Ground shirt there, and you can purchase it and you can help these guys to go to do the great things that they're going to do. So I do want to say thank you for letting us help you. We really appreciate it, and we're honored to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or you can go on my website, Got Your 630. We're doing co-branded shit. Got Your 7. We got a couple of different ones out there. You know what I'm saying? We're not quite right behind you. We kind of at an angle a little bit. We flanking, but you know what I'm saying? Got Your 7 coming soon. I got you back.
My man.
Yeah, Matt. I think we're gonna
Right.
have to. Matt, I think we're gonna have to get in touch soon. We have a new slogan between Camp Comrade and Guardian Ground called "Collaborate to Conquer."
Yep.
Right? So that's something that we would like to do. We're pushing forward with that. That's our new messaging campaign, is collaborating to conquer. And you guys are part of the team of collaborating and conquering for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to sit down with all you guys. We could set it up to sit down, break bread, have a meal, do something where
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good things happen over meals with this group. It seems like you said earlier, Jason or Wes, that you got a big pile of food to come to the initial agreement.
That's it.
Matt, Scott, and Al and I go to breakfast all the time, and that's where we come up with some of our best ideas.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, let us know where that's at, man. We'll come join y'all.
for sure.
First watch.
Yep.
First watch, baby. That's
Yeah,
the
that's where we always go. Yeah,
Y'all
first
are
watch.
classy. Y'all are classy.
Look, man.
You know what time?
I was like, let's
Hold on,
I was like,
Jason.
let's
You want to go to the
let's
Waffle House,
Crystal's.
bro? We got you. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
I go to the Waffle House too.
Although I saw the
Or a Huddle
classiest
House. You got a
Waffle
Huddle House
on the
around these parts?
planet.
We got a Huddle House in Alabama, baby. We right
That's
down
what I'm
the
talking about.
I saw the classiest Waffle House on the planet in Tennessee. Yo, this thing had a circle logo with a W and an H. It looked all new school. I was like, please tell me the Waffle House ain't rebranding. They can't do that.
No, they
Yeah. Let's hope not.
It's got to be a little yellow house on the corner. It has to be.
You can't turn the lights out and make it off a waffle if it's just and an H.
Waffle up front, meth in the back, baby. We got you.
But you know what time it is. We can't let them get out of here without it.
It's a damn good waffle.
Yeah.
Damn good luck, baby.
I know what time it is.
Yeah, you see the hat. Where they at? Oh, my man Jason and my man Wes. You have now come to the part of the podcast that a lot of people look forward to. Maybe not so much you guys, but now you're here. All right. You guys are ready for this. I don't know if you watched it before, but this is the part of the podcast where we put you in the hot seat. Because there's two of you guys, all I'm going to do is I'm going to split the hot seat questions between the both of you. I don't have any order. I haven't put them into who's going to get what. I'm just going to shuffle around and we're going to go one for one. You get what you get. All right. Who wants to go first?
Wes does.
All right, Wes, you're selected for first. First question for you, Wes, in the hot seat. If you could have any celebrity as your wingman for a night out, who would it be and why?
That's difficult for me. I don't have a lot of. Let me think here. Yeah, hey, flip it to Jason. I didn't do well in the hot seat.
No, you guys, you all right? You could get Superman, Batman, who? If you could pick anybody, any celebrity, anything, cartoon character, whatever you want, as a wingman, you got a night out. Who would it be?
Actually, I got you. I just thought of it. All right, I would take General Mattis.
Okay, and why?
Well, I think I like his point of view. I like what he's done for the world, and he's one of the few that I look up to as a mentor.
Okay, gotcha. All right, my man Jason, bring me down just a little bit on the volume there, Ty. If you were to create a personalized playlist for a romantic night out, what songs would be on that playlist?
And there'd be some Usher.
Okay.
Nice and slow.
Okay.
Yeah, some old school Usher, right?
Yep.
There'd be some George Strait.
Got you.
For sure. There'd be some Boys to Men.
There we go.
How many more do you need? I can go on for a while.
Give me two. Give me two more. Give me two more.
There would be some Red Clay Strays on there.
All right.
And let me think. The last one, some Marvin Gaye.
There you go, my man. Okay. I know the ladies is feeling that one.
That's right.
All right. Here we go. My man Wes. Here we go. All right. If a self-driving car had to make a split-second decision between saving the occupants or the pedestrians, what should it be programmed to decide?
The pedestrians.
Why?
Because the occupants chose to be in that self-driving car, the pedestrians did not. So therefore they're innocent bystanders, in my opinion.
Like the way you did that, sir. I like the way you did that. See, you know that one. See, you know what I'm saying? You just had to warm up a little bit, and now you're feeling the heat. You're knocking these things out. I like that. All right, Jason, back to you, sir. All right. So, Jason, how do you envision the world in 50 years, considering the current global trends and challenges?
Colder, not as in temperature wise, but as in relationship wise. It pains me to say that, but I think it's just going to be a colder place to live. I think technology is a blessing and a curse in both of the worst ways. And I think that's what's going to eventually come to the demise of humankind and the relationship aspect that humans have with one another.
Got it. Like that. Okay, I see what you did there, sir. I see what you did
That's
there.
an excellent freaking answer.
Yeah, I like that one. I see what he did there. All right, Wes, is back on you. So Jason already gave us his playlist, but I want you just to give me your top 5 musicians of all time. Your top 5.
So I would say Dave Matthews Band. I would say George Strait, Garth Brooks, Pearl Jam, and Beth Hart, actually.
What was that last one?
Beth Hart.
Beth Hart. Gotcha. Okay. All right, Jason. Back to you. What is your favorite athlete of all time, any sport? Your number one favorite and why?
It's got to be JJ Watt. I gotta go with my man Watt. I got to meet him. He came to the firehouse on Christmas Day. He didn't have any cameras, anybody else with him. It was just him wanting to come to the firehouse and thank us for working on Christmas Day. We got to hang out for a little bit, and just a cool ass dude.
Yeah. Shout out to JJ Watt. I mean,
absolutely.
He's a dope individual.
Absolutely.
I like to use that word. He's a dope individual. All right. Wes, is on you. I'm going to go a little bit harder for you. What is one thing that you have done to somebody that you wish that you can take back, and why?
That would be a lie. I try to pride myself on being genuine and integrity. So it'd be a lie for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. My man Jason, what is the most heartbreaking thing that you have seen or that you had to experience?
I mean, obviously in the job, there's a lot. Personally though, divorce.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I'm going to get this one to both of you guys. I'm going to get these last two questions to both of you guys because all of our Triple Threat Bet podcasts, family and friends want to know. Maybe it's going to be split. Maybe it's going to be the same. But I'll ask you this. Wes, I'm going to ask you first since Jason got the last question. In your opinion, who's better? Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Okay, Todd, don't do it. Don't do it yet, Todd. Don't do it yet. I want to celebrate this one. All right, Jason, you got the same question. In your opinion, is it Michael Jackson or Prince? Which one do you think is better?
My friend Will McDougal would kill me if I did not say Prince.
Okay. So we have a split. We're split here. All right, so yeah, all right. So we split on that. So I want to move on from it. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna take the split. I'm gonna take the 50-50. I think Al will be okay with it because if too many. Well, I think he's changed his ways because he used to go to the brown paper bag with the Michael Jackson thing. But I think he had a day where he was cleaning up and Michael Jackson was on and he was dancing. So I think it changed his ways. I think, you know what I'm saying? He had to make a change for once in his life, like the song says. All right, the last question I have is also going to be a pair for the both of you guys. I've heard you guys say that you guys have been on some previous podcasts before. But how would you rate the Triple Threat Bet podcast from 1 to 10 and why? I'll start with you, Wes. You got the last one.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it an 11, right? So we'll say 10. And the reason why is Camp Comrade's all about camaraderie, right? And I texted Ty today and said, hey, I'm going to jump on. And he was like, perfect. So just the camaraderie there, the willingness to accept us, the willingness to support what we're doing. I can't thank you guys enough. And on top of that, I think you guys are running an excellent work. Very professional. I like watching it every time you guys put it out. So, I just appreciate what you guys are doing. So I'm gonna give you an 11.
Oh, thank you, my brother. I appreciate that.
Scott, write this down. He called me professional. I heard it.
All right, my man Jason. Same question for you. Where do you rate the Triple Threat Bet podcast and why?
I always do this to my students. I never give a perfect score because I always think there's room for improvement. But I really do think the only way that you guys can improve is if you have us back sometime.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll give you guys a 9, and then when you have us back, I'll give you a 10.
My man.
But what you guys are doing and what you guys are portraying for the public to see, kind of an inside view of how how we operate, right, individually. And as a team is absolutely amazing. So I've listened to you guys for a while now, ever since I heard of the podcast, and it's just awesome to be on.
Outstanding, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I will tell you, the love is both ways, man.
Appreciate that. Thank
you. You guys are doing something awesome. That's the reason why we wanted to bring you guys on here.
Absolutely.
You guys are definitely awesome sauce. Like always, my thoughts and prayers are always going to be with you. When you guys come on here, you're family. I just feel like I haven't met a person who wasn't family. And what you guys are doing is dear to my heart because you guys are really out there trying to help. You really are out there doing it. And you really are promoting what I tell people all the time. When things get bad, get your ass up, try it again, right? Because you got to love yourself. If you can love yourself enough to not hurt yourself, you're going to be okay. So you got to start loving yourself. If sometimes it can be hard to love other people, right? Sometimes it's difficult, you know what I mean? But for yourself, you should always be able to find a way to put some love into yourself. And if you have some love in your heart for yourself, it only can spread out. You know what I mean? It only can be contagious around there. So I challenge everybody out there to love on yourself a little bit. Definitely love your wives and husbands and kids and uncles and cousins and grandmothers and everybody else. But take a little time to love yourself, and that goes a long way. So I really appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, so good. Thank you guys. Appreciate all y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can't thank you guys enough, man. You know, what you guys are doing is awesome, and you know, outreach is the hardest part for us. We told some folks the other day. They said, "What do you need?" And we said, "Just tell our story. That's all." So you guys letting us to come on, tell our story, reach your followers. I will continue to talk about you guys. I'll continue to throw people your way. I'll you know, we'll do what we can do to support each other in both ways. But again, Ty, great seeing you, brother. A great meeting all of y'all. Becoming family with y'all.
Absolutely.
DJ Royalty, I wrote down a note with what you said. You got me. You zinged me on my own campaign there, and I love that. I walked out during the break and told my wife, I go, "He got me, man. He got me." And I left out loving yourself, right? Similar message, but I missed the point. And I love that you drove that home. It's extremely important. It goes along with my why and the you, right? Let's make ourselves the priority. Let's do that, and then and watch how powerful we can be at that point when we do love ourselves. That's what happens, right? So thank you, man, and thank all of you. And I'm glad you guys are all doing well. Let's break bread soon.
Absolutely, I'm gonna do that.
What's your wife's name?
You said me?
What's your wife's name?
Sarah.
Well, yeah, I thought you said it, but I just want to give a shout out to Sarah for beating the big C, cancer. Hey, no, that's a big deal, man.
Sure, absolutely.
We'll definitely keep her in our prayers, but beating that PET scan, that's a big deal. So hats off to Sarah. We salute you as a warrior. You keep fighting the good fight. So
amen.
Guys, for sure.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Shout out to Mariah Phillips. I love you. That's my niece on there. She's on here, man. And like I tell you, you know how much I love her. I get emotional talking about her. I think she just got her. You know, she just got her, I want to say it right. I think it's her yoga certification, one of those. So she's got certified now.
Awesome.
And, man, for her to come from where she was at to now, she's like super duper. She just dope, man. And I'm just happy that she got up and fought and she's continuing to be dope. So I want to take the time out to tell you every time I see you, Mariah, I love you, man. I'm glad that you're doing great.
Good job, Mariah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, Jason and Wes, I mean, I've never had y'all both in front of me at the same time, but I've talked to one of y'all on text, and then me and Wes have talked a couple times. I want to be involved. You know, I told you this from the beginning, Wes. You know, I want to help any way I can. At some point, I'm going to win a Powerball, and then all our monetary problems are going to be over, and all this pent up energy that we have to help veterans. I mean, I see it. It's a big ass network we're building. You guys are a big part of it. I love your idea of what you're doing. I did work with Lone Survivor Foundation before, and they have some great ideas. But to me, some of the things, like you said, it's just it seems like you're going to a class and switching classes like you're in elementary school. And we're kind of grown folks now, and we have to have something that sustains, but also gets us back into, like what Kyle Shudik says, gets us back into our normal quicker.
Absolutely.
And then build the friendship network, because that's what's going to keep us going. But hey, we'll talk soon. We'll break some bread. We loved having you on. We'll bring you back soon.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. How about that, man?
Nah, that was dope.
About that.
I can't, man. I need to get a shirt that says that was dope. That just seems to be my word. That was dope.
Done.
That was dope. Yeah, man.
Be on the lookout for that
awesome,
Triple
man.
Threat Vet production.
Yeah, just a shirt that says you're dope. But like,
Yeah, there you go.
No pointing finger. You're dope, man.
It's going to be your cartoon character going,
Right.
you're dope, and it's going to be pointing.
Right. Well, man, I love
Phil,
it.
I wanted to hit something real quick here before we went too far. So I know we're about done, but this is something that Berto's been sharing with us. He's sharing us, how to kind of talk to people, that are in need of therapy, since we do have a platform where people call in and sometimes they got issues. He's trying to help us be able to, talk in the right way and understand the right way, and then how to interview people, not for their therapy, but how to get them to where they need to be. So it says, share with a friend, whether it's your favorite toy or a legendary starship. It's always a Star Wars theme. we love Star Wars. It feels good to let someone else enjoy the things you love. And this is one of the things I love is being able to meet Jason, to know Wes, to have all these different tools that we put together for people. This is an amazing thing that we're doing. I love the people that are coming on and getting to know us and us getting to know them. It's great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, so I want to tell you this too. We're still number one on that Feed Spot podcast list.
That's dope.
Hey.
I feel terrible because I don't really do anything for it. But hey, thanks Feed Spot. We keep putting out the same content.
Ty, hold on. We do a lot. We show up every Thursday.
Yeah.
We kick ass for 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do anything for Feed Spot. I never say anything about it. I just wanted to shout them out. Thanks for
Feed Spot.
Thanks for putting us number one on your list. David Willis told us about it. So
exactly. But yeah, I mean, being on there.
Send me a t-shirt. I'm gonna wear it on the podcast.
Give me a Feed Spot hat, fellas. I'll rock it. You know what I'm saying? I'll get a Feed Spot tattoo.
Send
Keep it there forever.
If you want to listen to some veteran podcasts, go to Feed Spot. They've got 100 of the best veteran podcasts out there. Number one is us. You listen to us, obviously. Go listen to some of those other 99. There
you go.
I mean, there's some on there that are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The podcast is continuing to give out games with Warrior Wishes. We'll talk more about that whenever they actually come on. I'm not going to do that this week, but Friday, May 31st. This is next week, right? Yeah.
Yeah, next Friday.
VFW Post 8790. If you're in the Houston area, go out and play some golf. Have some camaraderie with the VFW.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I got that out because since I wasn't here for the last couple of weeks, in full capacity,
totally blown that off.
No, it's all good. I didn't put it out either. So I wanted to make sure I put that out real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, like always, man, this Thursday, man, I look forward to it. I love you guys, man. It's never going to change. It's never going to stop. Seeing you guys just brings a light to me, man. And being able to do this with you guys, and we're looking at a year, pretty much close eye to eye, man. And we came up with this thought. We're making it happen. And I'm just super excited about it, man. And I'm just glad that I've been able to experience this moment, this day, with you guys, and I look forward to many more, brothers. That's for sure. So, I mean, I said my thing. I'm not even going to give any spiel like I normally do. I just want to tell you guys, if you're listening, we love you. Please share, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. That's what keeps us going. You know what we're about. Got your 6 culture, same flag, same mode. DJ royalty, the beard. The eyeliner pen, it was the Sharpie markers, what I'm saying?
Sharpie, baby.
Sharpie marker on the face.
That's what you need. Sharpline apparel. That's what you need to do, bro.
Yeah.
Sharpie, shout out to Sharpie. You want to sponsor us? I got you. I'll wear it every show. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to grow my beard in so I can be part of the beard gang. I'm gonna let my gray grow. Yeah, there we go. Sexy. Yeah, but that's what it is. So I'm gonna give it to you guys this time, man. If you guys have anything to say, my man Al. What you got, big dog?
I don't have nothing, Scott. All I want to say is stay dope. My man. Then we're going to go to my man, Matt Johnson, the man, the myth, the legend. This is the hardest working man. Pretty much, I think he's probably the hardest working man on the podcast. Outside
for sure. For sure.
I'm just going to say that. Outside of the podcast, he's the hardest working one of us all. What you got for him, Matt?
Well, thanks for that. I don't think I'm the hardest working one.
Oh, yeah. You are.
But I will tell you this. We still are working hard to help the American Legion and Katie. We still have $10 shirts to sell. And we're not going to stop raising money for them until we've sold all the shirts. So I know everybody out there has $10.
Yep.
Go spend it on something worthwhile. And let's get some headstones for these heroes that are buried in the Katy, Texas area so that everybody that goes by can celebrate their service and the general fact that they get to walk into that cemetery whenever they want.
Absolutely.
Them and thank them for what they've done. And then as always, sameflagsameoath.com. We're going to have the Guardian Ground shirts up there tomorrow. We're going to have other shirts coming out this summer. Just go out there, support us. We love you guys. Thank you for everything you do. And I love seeing you guys every Thursday, and I can't wait to be back next week, too.
Shout out to my sister, Becky. I love you, Becky. Yeah. My man, T.Y. My wife said, what is this wax poetic thing? I said, you know what? That's my man, Todd's word. when he wants to wax poetic. That means he's going to talk about something for a while. He's going to, you know what I'm saying, poke the lines with it for a little bit. So I'm going to let you wax poetic for a second, my brother. What you got?
Man, I tell you, the sharing part, like I love being able to share this podcast with you guys. I love being able to have a sounding board for life, business, personal, professional. I love having the fact that you guys know what I went through. I identify very, very closely with Al. I know that if there is something going on, that I'm probably going to have his reaction. I know I can go to Matt if I need to be, you know, really, like, he's kind of like our moderator counselor. And then Scott, I know that you and I we have a mind meld, and we think so much alike in so many different ways. So I absolutely love sharing this with you. I myself am going to go on a guys weekend with some guys that I deployed with way back in 2005. We've been trying to do this since then. So, you know, life happened and everything, but I'm going to go chill in Lake Tahoe for the weekend. So I'm flying out tomorrow morning, and I'm looking forward to chilling. But I mean, there's a lot of times where you don't think about yourself. And for a lot of years, I never did anything for myself. And I was kind of real tough on myself and gave of myself overly to other people. But my wife has kind of told me, I need this. I need to be able to do things for myself. And being with you fine gentlemen, you know, every week, and the counsel that we keep, it's helped me get through a lot of stuff. So I appreciate that. I love sharing it.
My man. There we go. Well, like I say, love yourself. Take some time to love yourself. It's okay. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to know how to love you like you know how to love yourself, like Al says. Love yourself. If you love yourself, it shows and it glows. Then the love for others will grow. So I just challenge you to do that. Love yourself for a little bit. And love yourself enough to come back and see us again next week. And if you didn't see us live, go ahead and make sure that you go on Spotify. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a cousin, uncle, sister, whoever you want to tell. But make sure that you guys go ahead and subscribe, like, and follow us, and be a part of the new start. All right? Get your ass up and be there tomorrow. But I'm going to see you next Thursday. DJ Royal T. Peace.